Ayo, what is going on? It's your boy X coming at y'all with a brand new video, and as you guys can see, we're back with the wonderful tier list out here, and this one is actually going to be on the token market cards that we got here, and you can see this is going to be like one of the old ones that we just did recently. So if you guys are excited, make sure you guys smash the like button down below, comment what your favorite card off the token market is, and subscribe if you guys are new. Also, one of the cards we're going to be shouting out pretty soon is the new Diamond Lube Hudson, and if you guys want to see a gameplay to see how he's rocking, make sure you guys check the link in the description down below to my Diamond Lube Hudson gameplay. So without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off with the S tier, and our first guy being Pink Diamond Nate Thurman. I feel like a lot of people kind of expected this. And now remember that this tier list is going to be ranking them off, you know, how they are off the token market. S tier being these are the best cards you can get off of the token market, and D tier being you probably shouldn't spend your tokens on these unless there's no other better options left, if that makes sense. So the first one is Pink Diamond Nate Thurman, and again, I don't think this surprises many people because Nate Thurman is a 6'11" center who is absolutely insane, has some of the best defense in the entire game, 97 interior, has amazing rebounding, Hoff Intimidator, has gold clamps as a center to start off with, and has some great badge upgrades to really make him insane. Personally, I don't think he's worth, you know, dropping a lot of tokens in, but in saying that, he's still an amazing center, and I just don't think he's worth it yet because I'm hoping that there's an update later on that makes some of these lower cards just a little bit better. The next guy we have is Diamond Lube Hudson, my guy into S tier. If you guys watched my gameplay, it was a little bit laggy, but Lube Hudson still managed to drop almost 50 points before we lagged out in our game, which is just absolutely insane. It blew my mind that Lube Hudson was able to do the things that he was able to do in that game. He can finish the basket insane. He has some nice shooting stats, including Hoff Hudson Hunter as a badge, which is great, but he doesn't have any 3-point Hudsons, which is pretty tough. Now, you can actually badge out every single badge other than the shooting ones with this Lube Hudson, which is crazy. You can add clamps to him, so he's an insane defender. He's already one of the best finishers. I personally would probably give him a speed with ball shoe, just so he's a little bit faster, as well as perimeter defense. But other than that, he's an insane card, and I think most people absolutely love him. Coming in at the next spot on the S tier, it's Pink Diamond JoJo White. JoJo White, I think I shouted out, is one of my best cards recently lists, and it's because JoJo White is absolutely insane. He's 6'3" with a 6'5" wingspan. He has 2 Hall of Fame badges, which are honestly really solid acrobat and fancy footwork. He can play make like crazy. You can upgrade clamps onto him. He comes with gold range extender. He has the Paul George jump shot base. His animations are absolutely beautiful. They're gorgeous. JoJo White, chef's kiss, belongs in S tier. And next up, we also have the new Pink Diamond David Thompson. Now, I know a lot of people might be iffy on this David Thompson because, you know, he's a 6'4", you know, shooting guard, whatever. He's one of the best slashers in the entire game. He's got a nice jump shot. He can shoot really well. You can badge out his shooting and defensive badges, so he's not as much of a liability. He comes with quick first step, and again, did I say he's one of the best slashers in the game? Yeah. Now, it is tough that his speed and acceleration are both 95 plus, but his speed with ball is only a 76. So you have to add a speed with ball shoe on him. You have to have some sort of coach that's going to upgrade that speed so it doesn't feel as bad. But if you make sure that you give David Thompson the ball on the catch and then make him drive, I still think you'll be fine. David Thompson, amazing card. Think he's very worthy of the S tier. Now, starting off the A tier, we have Amethyst World Be Free. And World Be Free is a card for me that I love just because he is an Amethyst with 2 Hoff badges, tireless shooter, and volume shooter. Also has gold quick first step, and he is just one of those guys where you give him the ball, sprint to the paint, dunk on everybody, can shoot the occasional 3-ball, which is nice. He has jump shot 28. It's a money jump shot, and he has a 91 shot 3. I love him. I understand some people might put him down to B because of his lack of defense, but I think everything that he provides on offense is just so amazing that I can kind of get over the defense a little bit. Next up is Amethyst Sam Perkins, a card that I know everybody loves if they've actually used him because he's got the Brook Lopez base, and it's just one of those stretch bigs that does not miss. He has good defense as well, good rebounding. You know, he can play that center position really well, and even the power forward if you wanted a double big lineup. Now, I don't recommend running him at the 4 because he doesn't have any sort of clamps to run against, you know, if you go against Giannis, but he's still really great even at the center, rebounds well, shoots amazing. Sam Perkins, amazing card. Next up, we have Diamond Willis Reed. Willis Reed is just one of those cards that no matter what happens, I just feel like I got some love for my guy Willis Reed. 24 gold badges, which are all great, and in the post, he's a monster. Finishing at the basket, he's a monster. He's a mid-range demon, and his defense is just absolutely insane. If you're not a fan of traditional big men that can't really shoot outside of the mid-range, Willis Reed's not going to be for you. But everything else that he does well, if you like traditional bigs, he's your guy, and he's absolutely insane. Next up is Ruby Paul Pressy, a card that does not get enough love. I haven't seen too many people really talk about how great this Paul Pressy card is, so we're here throwing him into S tier, or A tier, to really show him love. Now, Paul Pressy has 20 gold badges, including Quick First Step, Clamps, Pick Dodger, Pickpocket, Contact Finisher, and Pro Touch. He also has amazing defensive stats, obviously, because he's got clamps. His driving dunk is a 90. He has pretty capable shooting and jump shot 22, which is an amazing, amazing jump shot, if I'm being honest. So if you give him a good coach boost, a Mike D'Antoni, something like that, a good shoe, anything that really will boost that three-point, you can get him up to a 79 three-point shot, and then, some sort of floor general as well. Could get that even up to an 83, as well as a really solid midi, good speed, and his amazing defense. Paul Pressy, absolute beast, and is a slept-on demon, if I'm being honest. And last but not least, in our A tier, we have Amethyst Dave DeBuscher. Y'all know he was going to be higher up on this list. I have just so much love for this Dave DeBuscher card, man. He's 6'6" at the 3. For some people, might be a little undersized, but Dave DeBuscher has insane defense, even in the post, has good rebounding. The only thing is he's a little bit slow, but his post game is amazing. He can finish at the basket great. I love his jump shot 26. I was using it with meter, and it could not miss. I absolutely love this Dave DeBuscher, and his 85 in both standing and driving dunk, which is really solid. So if you use the correct coach boost, you can get him up to an 80 shot 3, which is amazing, and an 89 driving dunk. And then with the right things, if you add, nice speed shoes and things like that, you can actually get him, away from that really terrible speed. I cannot wait for a day where we get a better Dave DeBuscher card, a diamond or something like that, because he's going to be absolutely insane. Starting off the B tier, we have Diamond Al Horford. And this one might be a little controversial, if I'm being honest, and that's because Al Horford, honestly, stats-wise, is just a demon. He has 21 gold badges, which is really good for a diamond at this point in the year. He even comes with bronze clamps, which you can upgrade, and has a really solid three-point shot of 80, a good mid-range, good post-game, solid defense, good rebounding, like everything that you'd want out of a center. But for me personally, his jump shot is horrendous. Like, it is so bad, and he has a 53 speed. So I feel like there's another one, kind of like Ralph Sampson, where the speed is just so god-awful that it really hinders anything that you would have that could make this, Al Horford better. Because even if you have a good coach boost and a shoe on him to boost his speed, you can still only get it up to like a 60, 61, which just isn't that great. Al Horford is a great card. I usually like his great all-around ability, but the jump shot and how slow he is right now, I can't put him above B. Next up, Reggie Williams, who to me is just a slight step down from the wonderful Paul Pressy that we were talking about. And that's because Reggie Williams has only 2 gold badges, but 23, really good silver badges. He's got clamps, he's got Hudson, he's got quick first step, a bunch of great things. He's got a good driving dunk, he's got a good shot 3, he has a pretty decent jump shot, would be in that Brook Lopez base, absolutely money. But stats-wise, he's just, very mid-tier. Paul Pressy just has some insane defensive stats, some really good finishing stats, and Reggie Williams just has like that, but just slightly lower, which does hurt him a little bit. The next guy that we have was one that absolutely surprised me because I didn't realize how good this card was, and it's Sapphire Kendall Gill. I did not understand how great this Kendall Gill was until I actually looked at the stats in depth, and I was like, holy. Kendall Gill has 8 gold badges, all to do with shooting, but also has Pick Dodger and Pickpocket in there as well. Then has silver clamps and bronze range extender. Some good defensive stats. Has a 77 shot 3, but like I said, with a Mike D'Antoni coach boost, you can get his 3 up to an 81. And he also has a 90 driving dunk, a 79 ball handle, so if you did put a shoe on him, not that I recommend putting a shoe on a Sapphire, you could get him to speed boost with floor general, which is crazy. He doesn't have the greatest of tendencies, but he has a good jump shot. He has some good stats. And again, a card that has that bronze range center, silver clamps, and a really good dunking ability, and the ability to add quick first step to him to make that dunking ability even better. Kendall is a slept-on demon, if I'm being honest. Next card we got is Ruby Joe Barry Carroll. It was a card that just happened to drop yesterday, and Joe Barry Carroll ain't too bad. I think I said in my video yesterday that this Joe Barry Carroll is actually kind of like a Artist Gilmore wannabe, because they have the same jump shot, but Joe Barry Carroll is just slightly worse in a lot of the categories. He can gain clamps. You have to add Rebound Chaser to him to really get the full effect to him, but you can upgrade every single badge that you would want onto Joe Barry Carroll and really make him your own. I don't recommend chucking a lot of badges into him, but you could if you wanted to. He's got a good midi, got a good post game, can rebound well, and can fish to the basket great. Just a poor man's Artist Gilmore. And next up we have Amethyst Joakim Noah, who is just one of those cards where I'm not exactly sure how I feel about him, which is why I put him into the B tier, because his defense is insane. I mean, he has some of the best badges on defense already there. The defensive badge you can add even, which is all of them. Actually, you can add all of the badges. Joakim Noah is crazy. He has really good rebounding. The post game's pretty decent. He's got some good finishing. And again, the defense is just crazy. But Joakim Noah has, that awful jump shot, and he is slow. So although he gives you that insane defense, offensively, he can kind of be a Bill Russell, a liability, which is tough. But Joakim Noah, he's still a beast of a card. Next up, we have Sapphire Danielle Gibson. Danielle Gibson is a shooter. My man can spray the ball with the best of them. Danielle Gibson is only 6'2", which may hurt some people, but 21 gold badges, a few in finishing, a bunch in shooting, like Hudson, catch and shoot, flexible release, and some really good playmaking ones, including quick first step. Has a 75 driving dunk, which you guys know, if you have at least a 65-70, you can dunk in everybody's head. An 88 shot 3, an 85 shot mid, he can speed boost, has a 90 in all of his speeds, has the Michael Jordan jump shot, which is really solid, and is overall just a great card. The only thing you don't get is defense with him, and he's just like, to me, a slightly worse version of the World Be Free. Danielle Gibson is a great card, and I would love to pick him up if he gets some challenges and mess around with him, because he looks like an absolute demon. Next up, we have Sapphire Byron Russell. I love this Byron Russell card. It was actually hard for me not to put him into A tier, but I think as time has gone on, he has fell a little bit for me, and that's just because Byron Russell doesn't have the greatest of offensive stats. He can't finish in the paint. Really what he's there to do is shoot the 3-ball really well and play some defense. He comes with silver clamps, which you can upgrade. He comes with catch and shoot, corner specials, hot 100, and green machine, which is great. He's a little bit slow. He can finish the basket pretty decently, and he's a 6'8" 2-guard. Like, come on, that's great. His jump shot 30, which is a little slow, but is really solid, and his tendencies just are a little lackluster. But I think having a 6'8" 2-guard that can play as good of defense as Byron Russell does, as well as shoot the 3-ball great, I think he is a great card to pick up for anybody that is, on that Sapphire tier. These two are absolute demons to pick up. Love them, and I really recommend it to anybody. And last but not least, on the B tier, we have Diamond Billy Cunningham, who was a card that I was really excited about at first, but to me, he's just a Dave DeBuscher that can finish at the basket better, but has significantly worse defense. So that's really about it. He has the Blake Griffin jump shot, which is a really good jump shot, and it's solid. But Billy Cunningham really is just about slashing to the basket, dunking everybody's head, getting rebounds, and just pushing the pace. And that's about it. No defense, so no matter what position you're really playing him at, he's going to get blown by, he's going to get drop stepped, everything's going to be tough with him. He's a great card, but I can't put him anything above B. And starting off the C tier is a lot of cards that are just very average. We start off with AC Green, which I know a lot of people love, but he's a back-to-the-basket big that I don't feel like plays a lot of good defense. He doesn't rebound well, and he really doesn't give me a lot on offense, so C tier it was. Ryan Hollis, who I love, actually, is one of the cards that I used for a while as my backup center to really help me out, because Ryan Hollis is insane for some reason. He has amazing defense, he rebounds well, and he can dunk. But that's all he provides, and he is slow, so C tier is where I had to put him. Klay Thompson's Emerald was another card that I absolutely love. His jump shot is amazing, but with this Klay Thompson, there's just a lot of big negatives, like the fact that he only has bronze badges when it comes to a lot of things other than catch and shoot. He has silver range center, which is great, but he also has silver steady, which isn't as great. So again, he's a 3 and D player where the 3 just didn't feel as great on him. Danielle Marshall is the same thing for me. He's just a 3-point shooter. He doesn't really have a lot outside of that. Now, in saying that, his 3-point shooting is pretty good, but I personally am not the most, I guess, amazed with him overall. You know, I used him for a while, and even with all of his great shooting badges, I just couldn't do anything, and he's really slow. He's a complete black hole on defense, blow-bys, everything. I just couldn't do it. Next up is Ruby Danny Manning, another card that I feel like I was really excited about, but they killed his badges, and his stats are great, but his badges are just absolutely horrendous, and it doesn't help him at all. If this Danny Manning gets the correct badge upgrades, he could be okay at finishing, but he doesn't have any badge upgrades that you can add in shooting, playmaking, or defense. So to me, it's just not worth it. And the same with Brent Barry. Brent Barry is usually a 3-and-D specialist, but this year he is a 3-and-D specialist that can't play defense because there's no clamps. So he's really just a shooter and a finisher, a straight offensive guy with gold pogo stick. And to me, it's not worth it. If you want somebody that's going to 3-and-D for you really well, Brent Barry's just not the guy. Stick with Byron Russell for a while. Get Kendall Gill and use him for a while. You know, Reggie Williams is really good. Don't get Brent Barry. And last but not least on our C tier is Al Harrington, who is basically just another version of Danielle Marshall. And I didn't feel like he was as bad as the guys that I had in D tier, so I left him into C. But he could go into D if you want. And last but not least in our D tier, I'm just going to show them all at once. Bonzi Wells, Chuck Robinson, Tom Sanders, Rick Mahorn, Kurt Rambis, and JJ Redick. JJ Redick is a really good shooter. And that's about it. Kurt Rambis, I just hate. Rick Mahorn is just awful. Tom Sanders is one of the best defenders in the game, but can't score whatsoever and is undersized. Chuck Robinson doesn't give you anything, and Bonzi Wells is a 3-and-D shooter with a horrible jump shot and no defense. So D tier, it is for him. So this is our token market tier list. Let me know what you guys think about this down in the comment section below. If I'm being honest, so far there aren't too many amazing cards. I picked a lot of the ones that I wanted to talk about that I thought people would probably be leaning towards picking up, and this is my ranking for a lot of them. Make sure you guys like the video, guys did enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new. We are on that road to 10K subscribers. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will see y'all in the next video.